Hi everyone, this is Wilmar Calagos here, and hopefully we've gotten to this point. Now we're in Module 5, that you've truly taken the time to finish the first 4 modules with foundation, examination and worksheet. And through that process, you've truly made a clear effort to figure out what you have in your business. And if you're an entrepreneur, you've truly, gotten to kind of look to see what the different parts you truly need that you believe today that you need to build your business. And then we went through an exercise figuring out your focus and your niche, figuring out your personality, your experience, your expertise, things you've done in business, things that you were exposed to that you truly have a good grasp, and that you've kind of determined that you may be able to build a business out of something that you love and something that you do really well. Or it was something where you found that you have several services or products that you currently sell today. You went through a different exercise, a little exercise, and really determined which ones are profitable, enjoyable, that had the best outcome for your customers, and really kind of lean down the products and services that you have. And maybe today you're kind of more focused on one or two of the current products that you have now that are profitable and that serves your customer, and what you can do as far as giving the best value. And then through that, you got to recraft or recreate or create a new message, and then figured out what your unique selling position or proposition that you have for your business and also your products. And then you analyze the market, doing some market and deep market research and reading about comments and digging into books and what your target market is really saying and what it's really looking at. And so today we get to module number 5, creating your customer avatar. And now the reason why this is really important is because you're essentially seeking for people that fit the offer that you put together in modules, in the first couple modules. And now you're really figuring out, I have this offer, so therefore who would really want my offer, and what would my ideal customer really look at. And so this exercise is going to allow you to, one, get a visual and also a written description of the type of person that you are going after when you, meet with people. So, once you do your Facebook marketing or whatever avenue you decide to do your marketing and the strategy that you put together, there's customers. So if you're in the service industry, you're going to be doing strategy sessions or 1 or 2 meetings. You meet them to kind of qualify to see if you can actually help them. And then the other part is, maybe there's a second interview once you qualify them to meet with, someone else that would essentially make the offer. So however way your sales and marketing funnel, looks like, you're going to need to know what ideally define your correct customer avatar and what they look like, so that you don't commit yourself to a market that you can't really serve, but that you truly stick to the people that you're trying to go after, so that you can give and offer the best value to them. So this is step 1, module 5, and here's what we're gonna cover today: how to clearly and accurately describe your ideal customer avatar. why crafting your avatar's identity is a fire way to improve your marketing message. And that's so true, because since you've done the market research, you can really, tailor your message in a way where you communicate it back to them in the same way you've seen in your market study, or have seen from customers that you've already worked with, the type of things that they've said, so that you can really resonate with them and connect with them through your marketing. And then the Barter-Minhoff phenomenon, or also called the frequency bias. And what that really is that once you define the characteristic, the avatar of your ideal customer, then you'll naturally, innately in your mind look for those things when it's clearly defined. So when you find it, you'll know it, and you'll actually naturally even attract it to yourself, because your marketing will attract it, and the way you describe it will attract the correct people, because you're describing it in a way that attracts to them. And so there's this frequency bias where if you know of something, you'll likely see it and then go after it if it is the right person for your business. So essentially, you'll know what you want to attract. So let's go to the SDB 7-step process handbook. Creating your ideal avatar. All right, step 1, creating your ideal avatar. In this exercise, you will accurately describe your ideal customer avatar. By crafting an avatar, you will identify characteristics and qualities they possess. This will force you to visualize, identify, and attract the ideal customer you want to work with in your business. And so step 1, answer the following question about your ideal customer. Where do they live? How old are they? And so, through my market research, I narrowed it down to these countries that I will be essentially marketing to. Because through my studies, I've kind of studied to see the different countries that have businesses that are truly growing in that country. And based on my research, I came up with the United States, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Singapore, and New Zealand. I've also kind of looked into the mentors that I have, that I follow on social media, and studied their companies, and one where their companies are established as far as a brick and mortar office, and then a lot of the bulk business and where they're at. And so these are also why I've listed these different countries that I'm going to go after. And then age 18 to 65. What do they do? And so I put down 9 to 5 W-2 employee who want to start a side business doing what they love and what they are good at. Number 2, startup business owners doing what they love and are good at. And then business owners ready to pivot and scale a company they love and have a passion for their work. And so this right here is based on the research that I did as far as looking into like freelancers, small business owners, people that have like side hustles. And I think this demographic is really looking for guidance and looking for really good, reliable information out there that can really provide them a systematic like approach to kind of building a business, like step by step. And then also this really when I worked with the companies I worked for, it was truly startups that I truly, helped in the industry. One was, again, a real or a mortgage company that was literally, when I got there, they didn't have furniture built. I actually helped build the furniture. So it was literally like from the ground up that I was able to help in that capacity. Question number 3, what is their lifestyle? For me, what I put down is married with a family, active, charity work. And so, the reason why for me I think I put that is because, one, what I, at least for my business, as far as service, is that I really help alleviate time for them to figure out their systems. Although they, my clients do work with me in understanding their systems, but I've also provide speed and time so that they can tell me exactly what they want to do. I can do all the thinking and then present it to them, and so that would save them, a lot of time. And so I think a lot of times, when someone is single, they have a lot of time. They don't have as much obligation, especially if, because they don't have kids. They have plenty of time to really learn like systems and, teach themselves like new technology or SaaS on their own. And so they, and a lot of times, younger individuals really want to learn that stuff. And so I put down here is married with a family, active, and does like charity work. So really kind of like involved. What books and magazines do they read? I put down they read business books and subscribe to Audible audio books. And partly why I put this because the majority of the entrepreneurs that I read about or follow are always book readers. They're always subscribed to something where they get a book every single month. Whether, there's even companies where they give like Cliff Note version. So instead of listening to audiobook for like 12 hours, they'll like concise it down to like 2 hours. And so I know that, the business books, I didn't actually list them here, but there's 32 books that I actually read before I even started my startups. So, and then I kind of, went through the business books that I read that were pretty popular and pretty good as for new entrepreneurs and business owners in general. And I've kind of looked through all the comments and especially on Amazon, and to see what they're actually saying. What is their hobbies? I put love learning about business, love strategy games, and enjoy tech. How does their work week look like? They have a good balance of family life and business. They work 9 to 5 job, come home, spend time with kids and spouse. They stay up late and wake up early to work on their business and startup idea. So for me, I'm looking for all the grinders that are, kind of like they kind of love what they do at work, but they also want to start something on their own. And sometimes figuring out the nuts and bolts of how to really build a business is tough. The learning curve is a lot. I went through a program, several programs in different areas of business, before I started mine. And even as in-depth as these courses were, it was still tough to like implement, because one, when I had a question, I couldn't just like email someone or get somebody on like Skype or something to kind of just help me, get through this one part. And so it was tough when you got stuck, especially when you purchase programs that aren't updated and like the screens are way different from like the technology, because the UI, the user interface just changed a lot, and you're just like, man, what's the next step to implement? And so, their work week definitely would be, not a lot of time for their business. And that would be ideal for me to come in and help them with making their business a reality. How do they make decisions? They make decisions using logic and emotions. Um, it's more about their passion and vision. Their decisions are based on, will this get me closer to my goal or mission? If the answer is no, then they don't do it. And so specifically with this is that the vision and passionate individuals that I want to attract as far as my customer have to be in a place where they're really looking to invest, the little time that they have into really, getting them closer to their mission. Where do they spend most of their time? Office, business, and at home. And I should put on here work. 9 to 5 work. What challenges do they face on a daily basis in their business? Figuring out how to launch a business and the parts they need to build. Struggle with identifying systems, processes, then documenting them. Setting up SaaS software products in their it's not their strong point, and don't want to waste time or don't have time to really do it. Grow their business and find the right staff. Finding the right staff. I in my research, I saw a lot of that. Finding good people to really, work for you. And I think to alleviate a little bit of that is that you have systems in place to where you can, for me, my ideal hire is somebody that has the spirit of a student and has the spirit of like learning and just really wanting to be like a sponge that may not have like all the technical skills or knowledge, but as long as they're coachable and teachable, you can mold somebody like that. And sometimes, for me, when I worked for other companies, I like people that didn't have experience, because you can totally mold them and shape them, and there's no like this baggage from their bag of tricks that they can't really let go, or they're kind of like stuck in. And so we know with having systems and processes, you're able to really kind of like mold people and then give them the learning ability and the access to information so that they can be consistent in what you're trying to, put together. What are they lacking and need improvement on? Define vision, mission, define product and service, lack service and product delivery process, lack of focus. And so these would be key because I can truly, help them with these. And I found from my research that, most business owners don't really have a focus. They kind of just do a lot of things, and they don't really know how they get things done. They just kind of get it done. And I think that kind of stems from them kind of not understanding or are kind of confused on how they decide on things and what they're going to do because they don't have a vision or mission. And so, things are just being taken care of and, they're still making money, but there's really no sense of like direction and how things are done. How do they make purchasing decisions, and what gets them to take action? Vision of a better version of themselves by having a business that is successful, which in turn affects them in their business life and personal life in a positive way. It allows them to contribute to those things in bigger ways. And so for me, I know that's always going to be, and knowing sales and studying sales, when people buy an iPhone, they're really not buying an iPhone. They're really not buying a Galaxy 10. It's none of those things. It's this, it's a better version of them because they have that thing that makes them more efficient. And so it's not necessarily they buy it for the efficiency. Well, that is a byproduct of it, but it's really that they have something that will make them operate in a better way. Hence, it's really about improving them as a person and becoming a better version of themselves. That's truly why people, purchase anything in life in general. What are their hot buttons? What motivates them daily? Saving time for major tasks, increase in just being more productive in business and being more efficient, and then a return on investment. And that's really huge, for me in my business, especially if somebody is not really motivated to set systems and processes and really, dial that in. It's really tough for me to communicate return on investment, if I could be honest, because a lot of times people want instant results. They want, okay, well, I put in 8,000. What's my return on investment at the end of the day? And it's tough to do that when for me, when I'm setting up systems, and they don't really value what systems can do in the long term aspect of things because they want a monetary gain, which can lead to that, but it's not instantaneous. And so, that's definitely a hot button, and that's something that really needs to be valued for the owner, for them to kind of see how systemization is really would really help their business. But just like anything in life, time, increase, efficiency, and then return on investment. Add any more characteristics and qualities that will help define your customer avatar. For the most part, the people that I my ideal customer would be someone that's big picture thinker, and it's coupled with a micro perspective of there is little tasks that need to be done so that you can get the big picture result. And so they're very, vision driven. Okay, so that was step one, going through all of those questions, and hopefully, take the time, pause this video, and really take time to answer, all of those questions. And then when you get to step two, you'll really kind of write this out. So go ahead and do that right now. All right, so assuming you took time, now we are going to step two. Write your customer avatar and write it in a way like a police sketch artist. You piece together a composite that creates a vivid picture of them in your mind. Ideal customer avatar. Sam lives in one of the major countries in the world where business is booming in new startups and expansion of their business. He falls on three categories. W-2 workers who desire to start their own business in line with their expertise and passion. And the second is our startups developing a business about what they love and what they excel in. Third are business owners that are ready to pivot or want to scale their business. He believes in constant growing and learning about business. He buys books and subscribes to Audible. He's married with kids and desire to have a business while trying to balance family life. He loves to be active physically, but also active in helping others in the community. He is a vision and goal driven, so he makes decisions based on whether a decision will push him closer to his purpose. He spends most of his time in the office and at home with family. Sometimes he thinks about and keeps him up are figuring out how to launch a business and parts he needs to build to run a company. Yeah, he struggles with identifying systems, processes, then documenting them. Setting up SaaS software product because it's not his strong point or don't have the time to learn them. Grow his business to find the right and reliable people. What he lacks is a defined vision, mission, product, service, product delivery process, and focus. His motivator is being a better version of himself by being successful in business, which allows him to be the superhero to his community, business, and family. It's the resources he desires so that he can contribute and impact others in his greatest motivator. The return on investment, growth, and productivity in their business are the top priority to him. He's constantly thinking about the macro big picture, but knows the importance of the micro incremental things he needs to do to get there. So that would be my ideal customer. And so essentially from, looking at the questions that we did in step 1, now you get to kind of create your customer avatar so that you know exactly what you're looking for. And the more you know this, and for me, I always remember when when an application gets sent to me, I know what my ideal client is. And so, that's always what I'm looking for. So by doing this exercise, you're really kind of narrowed down. You can, kind of know from the survey if you could really help this particular, person. And then if you have this in mind during a strategy session, even more, because you've kind of laid out a picture in your mind and what that looks like. And then wherever you go, you're always really looking for these ideal things, and that you're constantly subconsciously just have this person or this customer in your mind, and you're constantly looking for when there is a match, that it's a match because you've taken the time to do this exercise. So again, only 4 things that matter when you systemize the business: systems, processes, documentation, and then executing those 3. Aside from closing sales, you will be tempted to do other things, but when it comes to systemization, your brain power has to be focused on these 4 parts: implementing the system you need today, figuring out its process, documenting them, and then executing them. All right, that's it for step 1, module 5. I will see you on the next module for step 1 right now.